I am a very proud, God-fearing American. I, like everyone else, take things for granted. I am guilty of taking our freedoms and our liberties and our way of life for granted. And to a degree, how do you not? Because for me, I was born in the United States. And so I've never known anything other than the freedoms that we enjoy. And sometimes absence makes the heart grow fond, or not having something when you had it, or never having it, but knowing it exists. When you get it, it tastes so much sweeter. You appreciate it so much more. And certainly been times in my life where I just totally took it for granted. I forgot about it. And, that manifests in a handful of different ways. And for me, it manifests in me not necessarily cutting corners, but not holding myself to a standard. It's letting myself eat too much, it's drinking too much, it's not exercising, it's not taking care of my business, it's not taking care of my house or the little things. It's the little things and the big things. It's easy to do. I just for what I want to talk about today, it's important that I'm vulnerable and honest and let you know and tell you that everything that I've talked about that I'm going to talk about, I'm certainly guilty of also. That's very human of us, right? To take things for granted, to let things slip when something's working great, to stop doing it altogether. But what happens when we do that is if we do it for too long, then that becomes our new standard. A lack of appreciation becomes our new standard. Mediocrity becomes our new standard. And to a degree, I think that is where we are at. So it's of value, it's prudent, it's important to go back to the basics and the fundamentals from time to time and to remind ourselves, oh, yeah, what we have here is uniquely special because what we have here is uniquely special. There's no other country on the face of the earth ever that has where people came together and said, this is the right way to do things. If we do things this way, we will flourish. It will allow humanity to flourish. And we will be that shining city on the hill. And we will be exceptional. We will be um, aspirational to other people. Other people will want to come here to be a part of it, to have the things that through our hard work, we have cultivated a way of life and a standard. And for a long time, I know that we've done that. So reminding ourselves, it's easy to forget. We're very busy, got a lot going on, a lot of cool stuff to be focused on aside from thinking about my personal liberties and the privileges that I enjoy as a citizen of the United States of America. So, what is liberty? When was the last time you thought about that? I don't know that I could have articulated it very well, frankly. So, here's the definition. It's the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. It's the power or scope to act as one pleases. Don't tread on me. Stay out of my way. Mind your own business. You remember why it is that we declared independence? What those reasons were, or a lot of them. What we were sick being taken advantage of. We were sick of being oppressed, being restricted. We didn't want to be under somebody else's thumb. We wanted to make our own way. And we believe that our vision for a more perfect union was the correct one. And we were right. So, are we becoming more free or less over the past 5 years? Are we more free today than we were 5 years ago? I don't think that the answer is yes. I think that the answer is no. What do you think? And to a degree, I think that we're giving it away. I think that we are broke individually, as families, as a country. I think that we're fat. We're stuffing our faces with disgusting food, and we are certainly distracted. We are focused on the things that we're giving our time and attention to, I do not think are very worthwhile. And I wonder how much of this is earned? How much of our freedom are we earning every day? And the answer is when we are living very mediocre lives, when we're broke, fat, distracted, I don't think that we're earning it. I don't think that we're earning our freedoms. I think that we are trying to give it away. I think it's entitlement. When you have somebody who is the very definition or the idea of entitlement is thinking that things should be yours without having done anything to earn them. And I don't think that there are not too many things that are more triggering to me than the idea of entitlement. We all know some entitled, spoiled brats that we cannot stand. It's like a third or fourth generation rich kid, the worst. Talk about disgusting privilege. Couldn't agree more. Versus first generation millionaire, somebody who inherited nothing other than their birthright and a will to work and a desire to become successful. And they go on to become a first generation millionaire. Incredible. Only in America. It's an immigrant who worked their butt off to come here legally, work their butt off, and to realize the American dream. That's incredible. It's an incredible thing versus some entitled, spoiled brat. Citizenship and liberty, I think that these things must be earned when it's just handed to you. I just do not think that we appreciate things. And you know that. You know that you don't value things that are free. You don't value things that have been given to you. We value things that we have worked hard to earn, to achieve. Those are the things that we value. So right now, how are you using your liberty? How have you chosen to exercise your freedoms? What is it in service of? I know I was beating myself up a little bit earlier, so I'll just keep using me, that I was putting it towards gluttony, greed, consumption. It's super easy to fall into that trap. You know what else is easy? It's easy to follow Navy SEALs on Instagram, to wear the right t-shirts, to say the right slogans, to listen to David Goggins interviews on podcasts. It's awesome. Love doing that. But that's a little too easy. It's way too easy to talk about it. And that's right now, I think what we've got going on, way too many of us, is we're talking a lot about it, but we're not being enough about it. I just learned this last week. There's this great Latin phrase, esse quam videri, and it means to be rather than to seem. That's what we want. We want to be about it, not talk about it. I want to be about it. I want to just talk about it. So, are you about it? Are you just talking about it? Are you being about it? Or are you just talking about it? So, how do you do it? How do you be about it versus just giving it lip service? Miyamoto Musashi, in his book, The Five Rings, said that it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Probably heard that before. It's pretty awesome. It's better to be a warrior and a gardener than a gardener in a war. So, how do we do it? How do we be about it? Well, I think that what we need to do is to make a commitment to be as strong as we possibly can be. I think it's really important to be physically as strong as we can be, to be mentally as strong as we can be, emotionally, to be as strong as we can be, to invest in our relationships and our kids and our parents and our spouses, our loved ones, and to make them as strong as they can be as well. And when you do that, when you commit to being as strong as you possibly can be, you will be holding a standard and you will be evidence to the world, to the rest of the world, to the people that you're closest to, that you have influence over, that you're holding a standard. And they can witness it. Say, oh, look, that guy's doing it right. If that guy can do it, then I can probably do that too. So you'll benefit from doing it, but you'll also be evidence to others of the value of doing it. Because what will happen is so many virtuous things will happen. So many virtuous things. You'll develop confidence. You'll develop grit and mental toughness. You'll be excellent. You will be pursuing personal excellence. But how do you stay motivated? How do you stay on track? Because it's easy to forget. Motivation is one of those things, and inspiration, things that should be practiced daily. I forget who said that. Somebody really wise, obviously, because as human beings, I forget. I needed to be reminded more than I need to be instructed. So, what is your motivation? Got to have something that's pulling you towards it, or something that's pulling you, whatever it is that is motivating you or catalyzing you to get your ass out of bed in the morning. Get your ass off the couch during the day. What is it that's driving you? Maybe you're into servant leadership. Maybe that's something that you like and that you're into. The whole love and light kind of a thing. Sort of the be the change you want to see in the world. Awesome. If that's what drives you, if that's what animates you, holding yourself to a standard, getting out and doing it every day, I'm all for it. Or maybe you are a proponent of what I have taken to calling deficit thinking. This is more Rage Against the Machine. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, versus the love and light. It's more dark energy. It's I want revenge on my enemies. It's a chip on my shoulder the size of Texas. That's what animates me. That's what gets me going. I don't know that I wish that I could say it was more servant leadership or love and light and that stuff, but it's not. That doesn't do it for me. I got to get down in there, go to the dark place and find my motivation. It helps me do what I need to do. Both are operating under the assumption that we're standing on the shoulders of giants, that so many people have come before us that have afforded us the way of life that we have today. And because that's true, and it's true that we have to honor all those people that have come before us and work hard to keep everything moving, to keep humanity moving along, to advance the conversation, to leave the world better than I found it. It's I serve versus I owe. Certainly possible to do both. But I owe, those are two powerful words that I live by because it's true. And so do you. We all owe a massive debt. I'm in the business of performance. I get up at the same time every day, whether I like it or not, and I do what must be done in service of what I believe matters. Day in and day out, rain or shine, whether I feel like it or not. I do it. I do it. And you have your version of that too. We all have our version of that. And instead of giving it away by not holding ourselves to a standard, we need to all get in the business of performance. We all need to get into the business of I owe. We all need to get into the business of I need to take advantage of my liberty and hold on to it and get more of it back than let it slip through my fingers or to be handing it to somebody else. Not interested in that. So on this 4th of July, I read or listened to rather the biography of Ben Franklin by Walter Isaacson, and all of his biographies are masterpieces, and the Ben Franklin one was no exception. What an extraordinary human being he was. Just incredible. And he was obviously a writer. He was a newspaper man, one of the first, amongst many, many, many other things. Certainly a very incredibly wise person who was far and away the oldest founding father at the time of the founding, when you had guys that were in their 20s. Some of them were even teenagers, for God's sakes. And these people were so wise. And out of so many wise people, he was certainly the wisest, or one of the wisest. Certainly had the most silver tongue or silver pen, however you want to think about it. But it's such a quotable guy. And I want to read you some of his quotes, and then I'll wrap things up. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. Every man is of common right and by the laws of God a free man and entitled to the free enjoyment of liberty. Our cause is the cause of all mankind. We're fighting for their liberty in defending our own. That's what I'm talking about. You do that in your life. You are defending fighting for everybody's liberty by fighting for your own. And that's the answer to all these questions. How do I do it? I can't have an impact. No, bullshit. You absolutely can. You do it every day. The more the people are discontented with the oppression of taxes, the greater the need the prince has of money to distribute among his partisans and pay the troops that are to suppress all resistance and enable him to plunder at pleasure. Let me read that again. The more the people are discontented with the oppression of taxes, the greater the need the prince has of money to distribute among his partisans and to pay the troops that are to suppress all resistance and enable him to plunder at pleasure. So it's a death spiral. The more you and I, regular people, get pissed off because we're taxed too much, the more our ruling class has to get more money to pay the rest of the ruling class and the enforcement mechanism to crush the resistance and allow them to keep doing what they're doing. Does any of this sound familiar? Without freedom of thought, there can be no such thing as wisdom and no such thing as public liberty without freedom of speech. Without freedom of thought, there can be no such thing as wisdom and no such thing as public liberty without freedom of speech. I need to be able to think my thoughts and speak what is on my mind in order to enjoy real liberty. Freedom of speech is a principal pillar of a free government. When this support is taken away, the constitution of a free society is dissolved and tyranny is erected on its ruins. Republics derive their strength and vigor from a popular examination into the action of the magistrates. Sell not liberty to purchase power. God grant that not only the love of liberty, but a thorough knowledge of the rights of man may pervade all the nations of the earth, so that a philosopher may set his foot anywhere on its surface and say, "This is my country." So powerful. And here's one of my favorites. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. How has that shown up? How has that shown up in the last 5 years? Only virtuous people are capable of freedom. As nations become more corrupt and vicious, they have more need of masters. Only virtuous people are capable of freedom. As nations become more corrupt and vicious, they have more need of masters. So there you go. Without each and every one of us living by a standard, we're giving it away. We lose our virtue. If everybody's fat, broke, distracted, that's the opposite of virtue. That is an absence or a void of virtue. Non-virtuous people are not capable of freedom. They don't know what to do with it. Waiting around for somebody to do it for them. As nations become more corrupt and vicious, they have more need of masters. Where do you see that happening? It's a case for virtue. It's this necessity of virtue. In order to enjoy freedom and liberty, you must be virtuous. Better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Make yourself strong, not because you need to beat somebody up, because it's good to be strong, just in case you have to beat somebody up. I don't advocate that you acquire money just to be rich. It's security, it's autonomy. So you're not dependent on other people for what you need. Become mentally strong, become emotionally strong. So you're not reliant on others to meet your needs. Become strong. Get as strong as you possibly can. Help those around you to become as strong as they possibly can. Finally, from Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death. Give me liberty or give me death. It's a considerably more eloquent version of fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. It's in the middle of a whole love and light thing, and fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Give me liberty or give me death. Let's not give it away. Make yourself as strong as you possibly can. Be a virtuous man or a virtuous woman. In so doing, you will make your country strong. By so doing, you will ensure liberty for your children, your children's children, your children's children's children. Nobody else is going to do it. It's on you and it's on me to get out there and do it. Happy 4th of July. God bless America. Don't talk about it, be about it. Do your part by doing your best.